Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. Steve with Census Fidelity. I'm on hump day. Well, what is it? September 24th, 2025, in the year of our Lord, 9:51 p.m. I know I'm tardy. I apologize. Kids, wouldn't go to sleep. Still not asleep. Yes. And what was I going to say? Oh yeah, Feast of Our Lady of Ransom Day. Eric, how you doing, man? Thanks for commenting on the live chat. Let's get right to it. Anybody wants to drop a line, go for it, ask a question. We might get in the weeds in a question. I have this that we might not, it would be like 30, 40 minutes. But if people start asking questions, I don't care. That's fine. Great. We can have a convo. Hey, man, Bill, good morning. Good morning. Let's pretend you're Australian. All right. Everyone, good morning, wherever you are. Let's start off with it. At a general audience, Leo the 14th urged Catholics to pray the Rosary daily in October for peace, announcing that on October 11th at 6 p.m. Rome time, a rosary will be held at St. Peter's Square as part of the Jubilee of Mary and spirituality, while also asking Vatican employees to recite the rosary daily in St. Peter's Basilica. And I'm sure people that are just everything that Leo 14th haters in general will just be rending their garments and putting a blog out in the next 5 minutes because of some reason. And then the other guys, the Leo has you can walk on water is just going to put a blog out too or do a video on that. Let's just wait and see how the pontificate works. It's only been 5 months or 6 months or something like that. Chill out, everybody. Okay. Work on our own holiness. But yeah, maybe we shall all follow. Maybe the bloggers, the haters, and the cheerleaders, and everyone in between will just follow what the Holy Father says on this, recommends on the rosary. Make sure you are doing it and have good intentions during it, and not try to worry about who's doing it better. Who cares what Brando has in it, right? Good evening, Mark. Good. I thought, dude, Mark, this is funny. You know how everyone says good evening, everyone, but them. I thought you said good evening, everyone, but Steve. No, appreciate it, man. Lou, hey, how you doing? Yeah, let's go. When you see me do this, the self-tracking device cell phone's right here, and I see somebody texting me, so that's why I'm looking over there like, what's that about? Making sure it's not the wife yelling at me. Ben Carson has been sworn in as nutrition advisor of the USDA. Quote, you are what you eat, and this administration really wants to look at it from the inception, from how we conduct our planting, our harvesting, etc. Great. Everyone should start growing their own food. Everyone should be able to drink raw milk. Everyone should be able to eat food from the grocery store if they want to get it from the grocery store, knowing that it's not sprayed with poison all over. Yeah, you can worry about red dye 5 all you want. But right, finish the chat. That would be hysterical. What was I going with that? Like today, went to the grocery store, and it was Taco Wednesday. We didn't know what else to do. It was like, all right, we'll make tacos. And she asked she asked, well, you need anything else? Just strawberries. I'm going, because all my strawberry plants, I've eaten one strawberry per day almost. It's not there yet to get the second round in. It's busting at the seams early spring, a little bit in the summer. The 100-degree heat killed them all, and they're coming back, but not as great. But I've had a couple back, fantastic. September strawberries, oh yeah. And she asked me to get some strawberries from them. I'm like, just made me twitch, just because I know I could grow them my own, but they're not there yet. And then on top of that, it's like the number one sprayed fruit is strawberry. You got strawberry, basil, blueberries, all apples, all that. They spray the top 25 are the stuff that you like to have. So yeah, hey Ben, I would love for you to get into that part and say, how about we stop spraying the food with poison? Keto is the way. I've never done keto. My bud Mike Church did it once, and we were going to my brother's first mass, and he spoke about keto on the way down to the parish in Missouri, Father Carney's parish, and for about 2 months after, I had nothing but junk mail on keto. Thanks. Red 40, yes, Red 40, of all the dyes. I work for a large cereal company. No one eats it. Yeah. It's because it's not, the rats don't eat it either, I bet, too. I would like that. I would like that he might address the dark enlightenment, the Tate Epstein connection, 0 point energy, gene altering bioweapons, data center. Ben, are you asking that I would like to address it? You want me to address that? Obviously, like the 0 point energy. That's, I mean, we've talked about that many times. The 2050, 2030 project, 2050, the eighth. Are you asking me or Carson to do that? Gene altering bioweapons. I got the plans on that too. We've talked about that before. Data centers, obviously. But yeah, if you like those guys to talk about it, ain't happening. But yeah, if you want me to talk about it, or you want some more information, email me, steve@sonsofadelium.com. I'll get you even more than what I can get you on stuff like that. Sorry, I just didn't know if you were who you were asking. I would like that he might address that. And, who would you like to address that? DJT goes on bizarre vaccine rant about babies and horses. President wants a future king. President DJT unleashed a surreal rant about children being injected with massive vaccines similar to the ones you give a horse. DJT said jabs can be great unless you put the wrong stuff in them. Well, that's, yeah, right. He's not wrong. Trump was speaking ahead of Monday's press conference where he suggested that vaccine skeptic HHS Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr., RFKJ, if you're nasty, has found an answer to autism. Kennedy's been talking about this for like a decade, so they've already had it. Acetaminophen, the active ingredient in Ttylenol, is expected to be to blame. Children get these massive jabs like you give to a horse, like you give to and I've said for a long time, I mean, this is no secret. Spread them out over 5 years. Give 5 shots, small ones. You ever see what they get? I mean, a little baby to be injected without much fluid, even beyond the actual ingredients. They have sometimes 80 different shots in them. It's crazy. Yeah, the schedule is shockingly incredible. It wasn't like that when I don't think anyone like we were kids, and it's good there's a lot more people backing out of all those jabs too. Get some purebred kids out there. And if you want more on the jabs in general, check out the book Dissolving Illusions. Fantastic book, especially if you have somebody that is a disciple of these GBD jabs. It even gets into polio. So if you want something that has all the evidence, stats, all that, it gives like graphs, like you'll see like a graph, and at the bottom will say, here's where the vaccine came in, and it'll be like, but the media usually shows this part, and they'll show this. So it shows you that everything was going down. All of a sudden that gets in, and they say, woo, we were saved by the jab. No, usually 99 times out of 100, that was not the case. And they get into how people live, the conditions of sanitation and things like that. Very, very good resource. If you don't, Dissolving Illusions, you can look on dissolvingillusions.com. It'll take you to the website for it, but get the book and check it out. It's not a huge book, very fascinating read. And I remember somebody telling me about they were giving me crap because I mentioned that it was during the Black Plague, and it mentioned that people never had it. There's one group of people never had it, and it was because they were eating alliums, and onions, but it's in the allium family. And Judson brings this up in his book, talks about you should not go a day without eating something from the allium family. So I got in one of my towers, just an allium tower, really. I got onions, got green onions, I got chives. So every time we cook, scramble eggs in the morning, I go out there, grab some chives, cut them, dice them up in my hands, and put them on. Bada bing. But yeah, make sure walking onions, Egyptian walking onions. Those are great. They'll get 3-4 feet tall, and then they just fall over. They're perpetual onions. Anyway, getting off topic. This is what proves Trump's dementia, psychologist says. Dr. John Garner tells the Daily Beast podcast that signs of deterioration in Trump's functioning are readily apparent. At least one psychologist is convinced that once in future king President DJT has dementia. Dr. John Garner told the Beast, we already talked about this, Joanna Coles, that he has observed a major deterioration in Trump's language skills, motor skills, and impulse control. The former Johns Hopkins professor and co-host of the podcast Shrinking Trump explained how he arrived at the diagnosis of dementia for the president, telling the Daily Beast that doing so involves assessing someone's against their own baseline. We have to see a major deterioration in functioning, in language and thinking, and psychomotor performance and impulse control in a whole variety of areas. What a lot of people don't realize is that DJT used to be a very articulate person. I don't know. I haven't seen much difference on things from the first. He's older, but I haven't. He still golfs. He still makes wisecracks. He's kind of, when he gets off when he gets off script, he seems more funnier. I haven't listened to all his stuff, obviously, but I mean, the comparing him to Brandon, I don't think we're on the same wavelength on that yet. Why wouldn't the list worked out about Brandon? Yeah, it did take a while for them to finally admit, like, I don't know, a year later. Oh yeah, he was he was losing it. He actually died 10 years ago. We just had him up like Bernie's for a little bit. He just waved his arm up and down, all sawed off. It was the ice cream man. Trump did great with when his teleprompter malfunctioned. Yeah, that's one of his things. He can go off script. The problem is he goes off script. He goes off script. It's freedom for him in a sense. He does. It's robotic zombies when you read the teleprompter. When he goes off script, that's the guy that you saw that everyone loves and all that. But the problem is when he goes off script, the truth comes out a little bit, and they don't know. It's like, cut that thing off. J.D. Vance equals president. We know this. Everyone wants. It's funny to see the people say, "Hey, that's our VP." We got that. I think I have the X tweet, whatever, when he blasts somebody for the shooting that happened this morning, and they're like, "Oh, we love him because he cussed on Twitter or whatever." Whatever. Pro just won a golf tournament. Yeah, he. I wonder if I can't believe he hasn't done the Trump Pro-Am yet, and just got everyone together, and Jordan and things like that, and had this gigantic golf tournament. That's probably with UFC coming to the front yard or front lawn or south end, whatever it is. I'm surprised he hasn't done a golf tournament yet. That would be hysterical, especially if he wanted. Here's National Library of Medicine. Trump let the Jays. And side of my facial argument, but like I mean, I showed you, Bill. I had yesterday. There's actually a band that had facial rec at a concert they had, and they put it up on screen so that everyone can see their own face. Don't worry, there's facial rec everywhere. If you've seen the show, oh man, not Enemies of the State, the one with Jim Caviezel in it, and The Machine. It came in the 90s, was it 90s or 2000s? Oh, I forgot. And it talked about all the facial rec everywhere. If it's there, they had that stuff there, trust me, it's all over the place now. Anyway, here's the National Library of Medicine on acetaminophen. Here's the systematic review of a link between autism spectrum disorder and acetaminophen, a mystery to resolve. And when was this done? This was done in 2022, July. If you want to read it, check it out. It gets into a little bit of this about what's going on because of what happened yesterday. It was here's Robert Malone, Dr. Malone's HHS's bold actions to tackle autism epidemic. Quote, "We're going bold to tackle autism." If you want to read it, I mean, Malone was great, and then I think he got a little corrupted at the end here, but he's still good read. Purse of interest, yes, thank you, Bill. Yeah, everything they got there is way a little more time. Oh, I'm getting a text. I was on a group chat, and people were upset at me for someone was complaining about California, and I was like, I don't live in California, man. Sorry, I was wrong for saying it. Apparently, Pete Hegseth's pastor is Doug Wilson. Doug Wilson is a self-described Christian nationalist who opened one of his churches in D.C. as part of his mission to make these United States a Christian nation. Now, why is this? This guy is you wonder why Hegseth is weird? Here's like here's back August 13th. We are gathered at the pentagram for a monthly worship service. We will forever be one nation under God, which is totally bogus because we're not a nation. And one nation came from the socialist ideas and the Engels dreams. Monthly worship service held today at the pentagram, led by SecDef, or Secretary of War now, Pete Hegseth. And you remember the video of Hegseth of the Department of War talking about, we had the Our Father going in the background when they're showing up. These guys think, here's the problem with this nationalism, this Christian nationalism. First off, they're Protestant. So which Protestant flavor are they wanting to go with? Or are they for just anything but Catholic? I don't know where they want to go with it. They want one nation, but they want one religion. So they're going to argue it better and better to have a holy war. Speaking of that, that's why you see the holy war stuff. This guy. That's why you hear the crusade talk from Hegseth. This guy. They think that going to war is, well, remember going back to the 1860s, the Battle Hymn of the Republic, written by a Unitarian who saw the glory of the coming of the Lord as Grant, Sherman, burning the ethnic cleansing, burning down to the South. That was the glory of the coming of the Lord. War is glory to these guys in the sense of them moving their religion. So if we bomb the you-know-what of Iran into the Stone Age, we're doing that for the glory of Israel and the glory of the coming of the Lord. That's where they're going to get that from. That's why these guys are so dangerous. They look at war as, well, even Kirk even said this in a debate, one of those at the college things. Some kid come up, I think he's Eastern Orthodox, and he's trying to get him. He was trying to hold his own for a little bit, but he had some terrible responses. Not Kirk, but the other guy. But then Kirk had his own flaws on this. But Kirk mentioned that he thought in Revelation when God comes back with a sword, as in a military function in a sense. So I mean, I could pull it out. Maybe I'll do it tomorrow for you and pull it up. But yeah, that was literally his thinking. The guy responded, no, he's talking about the word of God, not coming down in a military, force, the Fifth Heaven Battalion or anything like that. So these guys look at that way, spreading the message as in pretty much killing them all, manifest destiny on roids in a sense. So when you hear the Christian nationalism idea, first off, remember the heresy. Two, this isn't a nation. Second, third, whether they want this thing to come into. I guarantee it ain't Catholicism that they're going to push it for. Ukraine launches huge daytime attack on Russian Black Sea fleet at Novorossiysk port. We'll go with that. On Wednesday, a major daytime drone attack from Ukraine rocked the Russian Black Sea port at that place we were talking about, Novo, which reportedly involved both aerial and sea drones. At least 20 cars were on fire, either from a direct hit or fallen debris. Massive pro-Palestine protests rock Italy. 60 officers injured. Italy was hit with a massive pro-Palestinian protest, calling for the government to recognize Palestine, with Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni condemning the violence because she's the only one. She's one of the few that is not recognizing Palestine. She's actually kind of holding up with pretty much what the U.S. is saying right now. It's interesting that she is holding that line so hard. The Sept signals big, beautiful bailout for Argentina in vote of confidence for Milei. So in case you ever wonder, hey, what about the bailouts? Now we're about to bail out Argentina. Yesterday, as we detailed here, Argentina assets soared on the heels of U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott. I used to work for Soros Percent, calling the South American country a systemically important U.S. ally in Latin America, adding that the U.S. Treasury, quote, stands ready to do what is needed within its mandate to support Argentina. All options for stabilization are on the table. They're going to get a bailout. Trump says NATO should shoot down jets that breach NATO airspace. Hey, we want war? How can we use some war? Yeah, let's shoot some planes down. Google says users removed over Rona views can rejoin YouTube. As they said on Saturday Night Live, isn't that special? Thank you, guys. YouTube creators were removed over their views concerning Rona 19 or the 2020 election can rejoin the service, Google and its parent company Alphabet said in a September 23rd letter. Today, YouTube's community guidelines allow for a wider range of content regarding Rona 19 and selection's integrity, it stated. Yeah, anytime you said something like that, you got kicked out. If you go back, you remember just me, I was playing the cat and mouse game. I would tell people, hey, we got a thing on, but it can't be on here. Go to BitTrue, go to there, go to Spiritus, whatever, and you'll be able to watch it. So I could probably go back and upload those. I don't know yet. I might be terrified to do it. Reflecting the company's commitment to free expression. Oh, kiss my grits. YouTube will provide an opportunity for all creators to rejoin the platform if the company terminated their channels for repeated violations of COVID-19 and election integrity policies that are no longer in effect. Moving the goalpost. People whose channels were suspended or taken down, including Don Bongino, the current deputy director of FBI, and who's now pretty much the opposite of what he was before. Google described the Rona 19 pandemic as an unprecedented time that forced online platforms to balance freedom of expression with moderation of content that could result in real-world harm. Translation: they had to get rid of people that were calling out their scam. There was a lot of guys that did that. Is there any, here's Dave the Camp from Anti-War. Might as well just play the anti-war stuff here in a second. Is there any reason for them not to trust Trump on this? I'm sure he will change his tune when he meets his boss Netanyahu at the White House come Monday. Here's from Dropside. New Politico reports citing 6 officials familiar with the talks that Trump told at the 8 Arab leaders in a closed-door UN meeting that he would block Israel from annexing the West Bank. Two others said Trump's team circulated a white paper outlining governance and post-war security plans, while other 2 said Arab leaders warned annexation would collapse the Abraham Accords. Despite Trump's assurance, one official said the ceasefire remains far off. Turkish President Erdogan called the talks fruitful, as Dropside reportedly previously, and him and Trump are scheduled to meet again Thursday at the White House. I'm going to play this because I thought it was just to give you the full experience, right?
Recent exchange between Tucker Carlson and Senator Ted Cruz. Tucker Carlson said, "Are you saying that the Jews in Israel under Netanyahu are the descendants of the ancient Israelites who are described in the Bible?"
Of course, there's no question about it. The Jews spread from this land to various parts of Europe, to the Middle East and elsewhere. But we never forgot this land. We said next year in Jerusalem, next year in Jerusalem. My great-grandfather came here in the 19th century. Most of the Palestinians who are alive today came after him. So that's what our history has been. On the one hand, regaining our ancient ancestral homeland. On the other, developing a state that becomes a juggernaut of technology and development. We're Silicon Valley in the Middle East, a democratic society in the face of enormous attacks of countries that want to annihilate us every day. Who is Tucker Carlson defending here? These are people who chant death to America. They're after you. They want to destroy Western civilization. They want to destroy everything that America stands for. They say Israel is a small Satan. The big Satan is America. The only place where Christians are safe in the Middle East is in Israel. Not tolerated, welcomed. They participate in our society. We take care of the holy places, which are destroyed everywhere else. Churches blown up throughout the Middle East. So if Tucker Carlson is asking you that, then he has no idea, not of Jewish history, but of history. Who are these so-called defenders of MAGA defending? They're defending the worst enemies on the planet against America. They're not MAGA. The people who speak of MAGA, they love America, and they love America's values, and they don't identify with the worst enemies that America is facing today in the world. President Donald J. Trump, the greatest friend that Israel has ever had, he understands that we're fighting a common enemy. Iran wants to destroy you. We stand in their way. I'm very proud of the fact that Israel is the front line of this battle of civilization against the barbarism that threatens all free societies.
I apologize for making you guys listen to that. That was Denise, fake conservative D'Souza, who's terrible. Terrible. He's just a neocon beyond neocons. But yeah, if you buy that idea that the Jews are the Jews of now are the Jews of the Bible, I got some front beach property on Venus for you. But yeah, the Shoes is going to ask the softball questions because the whole idea is this whole Tucker thing that got blown out of the water. And you got to go Bibby on a marketing campaign. The same talking points. Israel this, Iran's trying to kill you. Yeah, Iran's not trying. You know anybody in Iran's trying to kill you? No. They're not getting around going to sleep saying, how can we kill people in Georgia or South Carolina? They're not. And he said, we're protecting the Holy Land. Israel literally bombed Catholic churches. And you know how we had Catholics defending Israel. That's how crazy that's how the narrative's been just taken over. Here's Megatron, Twitter account, Megatron. Israel reveals the 6 Jewish American billionaires who've quietly become the backbone of Israel's wartime funding. One of them is Larry Ellison. He's the one on the bottom right. The man who just bought TikTok to brainwash young Americans. I went through that yesterday with Stargate, the Stargate Project Stargate that no one, the only one that apparently talks about from day one from the Trump administration. That Larry Ellison. Here's Megatron once again breaking. I hate the breaking part. Jewish billionaire Robert Shillman, longtime top donor to Charlie Kirk and Turning Point USA, cut off funding just days before Kirk's assassination, the Gray Zone reports. Shillman was angered by Kirk's increasingly critical stance on Israel and refusal to ban critics like Carson from TPUSA events. Pro-Israel allies, including Netanyahu's circle, allegedly pressured Kirk almost daily to fall back in line. But hey, some 22-year-old did all this, remember? Yeah, candlesticks. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, son, little Ellie is doing Hollywood stuff. Yeah, it's kind of funny that all this stuff coming out when you got the other guys like the Andrew, who's the Superman theory guy, coming out saying, no, yeah, who else is going anything about that? Oh, yeah, so how do you lose these donors? House Republicans have proposed a bill to put Charlie Kirk's face on the silver $1 coin. The legislation was put forth by Representative August Pfluger and Representative Abe Hamadeth. I do not know why. There are people naming roads, getting roads changed, probably going to get a high school changed, something like this. Maybe colleges will be name changed and all this. The response has been really, really weird. Former FBI Director Comey expected to be indicted soon in Virginia federal court. There's got to be some kind of distraction for this to be going on. Former FBI Director James Comey is expected to be indicted on criminal charges in the coming days in federal court in Virginia, MSNBC reported. The expected indictment comes on the heels of the top persecutor resigning under pressure after opening a filing of charges against Comey, who for years had been a target of once a future king, President DJT's ire. FBI found documents marked as classified at former Trump National Security Advisor John Bolton's house. Federal investigators seized multiple documents labeled secret, confidential, and classified, including some about weapons of mass destruction during the late August search of the office of President DJT's former National Security Advisor John Bolton, according to new released court records that are part of investigation into whether Bolton mishandled defense records. Here's Christy. No, I saw this morning. I was at the gym, and when all this went down was earlier this morning. I saw this. I thought it was kind of not funny, but you'll see what I mean. There was a shooting this morning at Dallas's Ice Baby field office. Details are still emerging, but we can confirm there were multiple injuries and fatalities. The shooter is deceased by a self-inflicted gunshot wound. While we don't know the motive yet, we know that our Ice Baby law enforcement is facing unprecedented violence against them. It must be stopped. Please pray for victims and their families. So I was joking. I told a friend of mine, hey, the suicided story is back, baby. Because anytime any of these things happen, you always see that line. Shooter is deceased by a self-inflicted gunshot wound. We never get the shooter alive. They're always dead. They always say either killed them or they were suicide. Like, who goes through all this stuff and say, you know what, I'm just checkmate, baby. Take me out. Why wouldn't, if you did something like this, why wouldn't you get at least the camera time to get your message out there? No. It's again, red flag every time. I'm going, immediately when I saw that, going false flag. But it's false flag season year. So you got like Jack Postle going, it's bloody September. And I responded back, it's PSYOP September, baby. Well, you guys call it whatever you want. Yeah, Bill, you're right. That Stargate presser should have discussed any voter, but most of them don't even either. They didn't see it because they don't look at all media. Because I mean, Fox and CNBC, CNN, and MSNBC, local news, they're not going to put that. They're not going to talk about that. You have to dig up or go somewhere, look up something else to find that. Here's the ICE facility shooting. Dallas ICE baby shooter named as Joshua John, who murdered 2 migrants, then killed himself. So remember the narrative. Here it is: the sniper who killed 2 migrants and wounded several others in a shooting at the Dallas ICE facility has been identified as Joshua Jan. Apparently, this guy's the only one that they're going with that doesn't have a middle name. 29, the Daily Mail can reveal. The bloodbath unfolded at the facility in Texas shortly after 7 a.m. and they shut down traffic. You saw the traffic photos of this Wednesday morning when the gunman targeted migrants on an unmarked transport van before killing himself. That's normal. Multiple law enforcement sources named John as the shooter who opened fire from the rooftop of a building adjacent to the ICE detention center. Homeland Security spokesperson, because it's not a spokesman anymore, because you got to have the women, Tricia McLaughlin told CNN that the death toll stood at 2 as of Wednesday afternoon. By the way, there was 4 Americans killed the other day by Israel. Nobody gives a rip. No. But hey, this is going to be wall-to-wall coverage. 2 people. 4 Americans got killed by Israel, not even on page 30. The weather, it's not even on the weather site. The comics don't even put it up. This will be wall-to-wall coverage. The victims were ICE detainees, and no law enforcement were injured in the shooting. Timeout. We got a flag on the play. Noam says there's unprecedented violence against them. There was nobody killed that was in law enforcement. No one even hurt. No law enforcement were injured in the shooting. Officers said that the press conference on Wednesday morning, the bullets found by the shooter's body were engraved with anti-ICE messages. Pretend these were, hey, we're just going to throw that out there. Hey, look what I found. And somebody goes, John Johnson, that's the wrong ones. Yeah, because right now it was the narrative. All right, it's an anti-ICE attack. They killed detainees. No ICE law enforcement. So it wasn't an anti-ICE attack. They killed they were targeting the detainees, but yet they're going to spin it to be an anti-ICE thing. Watch, there's a bill come out that's going to make anybody that says anything against anything ICE is now a terrorist because the anti-fight. Remember the whole thing with Brandon? Brandon started it with the anti-thing. They had the terror. You can label anybody a terrorist. Trump's doubled down on it. Now they're going to make it. Watch, you're going to be some kind of bill you can't speak out against the ICE people. Patel said in the next post, while the investigation is ongoing, the initial review of the evidence shows an ideological motive behind this attack. What is the motive? These despicable, politically motivated attacks against law enforcement are not the one-off. Somebody get him the right script. It's like, Cash. They didn't hit him. They didn't shoot anybody for law enforcement. Oh, my bad. Give me that. Smithers, give me that folder. I don't know how are we going to spin this one. I mean, really, there's like, all right, this happened, but it didn't happen the way they're saying it. Literally, no officers got hurt, but they're sticking to the attacks on the officers. You know what? I remember when during the Rona time, someone made a list of the top Rona guys that were speaking out. I was like number 2, and I'm going, how do I get number 1? That was just the Catholic guys doing that, though. Let's see. Yeah, look at all the cops there. I mean, something went different on the script, apparently, because they probably were thinking, this is not supposed to be going down the way it is. And here's this looks legit. Anti-ice. Hey, we're going to write literally anti-ice on a bullet because that makes sense. I mean, when did that become the norm? Here's Benny Johnson. Breaking. President DJT announces he will sign an executive order this week to dismantle left-wing domestic terrorism networks following today's ICE facility shooting. Hey, is this Told You So Tuesday? We have already declared Antifa a terrorist organization, and I will be signing an EO this week to dismantle these domestic terrorism networks. I'm calling on all Democrats to stop this rhetoric against ICE and America's law enforcement. Mr. President, no one in ICE got hurt today. Doesn't matter. Right now, the Trump administration is fully committed to backing law enforcement, strong borders, securing our homeland, deporting violent illegal criminals. Mr. President, the 2 illegals apparently got shot. Doesn't matter. We're sticking to the narrative and fully rooting out the left-wing domestic terrorism that is terrorizing the terrorizing terrorists of our country. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Eric. I was number 2, dude. I'll work on. I'm trying. I guess that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to work improving my. I can't. If you're not first, you're last. So gotta work up there. DJT makes another threat to go after ABC as he blasts Jimmy Kimmel's return because apparently that's where we gotta go. When you get to the point that you're going after somebody that no one even watches anymore, what are you doing? Who cares? No one cares that Kimmel's there. If it weren't for social media, I wouldn't have known he was gone, and I wouldn't have known he was back. And I still don't care if he's back or if he's gone. But we got to keep some kind of drama going. It's just like a sands to an hourglass. These are the days of our Trump. Joe Rogan issues warning to MAGA over Jimmy Kimmel drama. So much drama in the LBC. It's hard being Snoop Double G. No, that's not what Joe said. He has issued a free speech warning to MAGA over Kimmel's TV suspension. Speaking on his podcast, The Joe Rogan Experience, the comedian reacted to ongoing controversy surrounding Kimmel, who was suspended from JKL over comments he made about MAGA movement's response to the death of Kirk. What did he even say? The MAGA gang is desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Kirk as anything other than them and doing anything they can score political points from it, Kimmel said. Okay, Rogan said, I definitely don't think the government should be involved ever in dictating what a comedian can and cannot say in a monologue. Yeah. You're crazy for supporting this because this will be used on you, Rogan said. I don't think that the globalist lizard people who run the world are sitting here going, great, what do we got? 3 years, we'll wait this out. We'll wait this out. Yeah, let them say the government should be involved in censoring people's speech. Yeah, I mean, God, it's not that it's not their role. It's the whole, we'll go 1A. Congress on that. He's in the federal government. The Bill of Rights is what the federal government cannot do to the states. And that's it. It's not the federal government can do to a comedian, not a city, not a town, not anything. Oklahoma official says all high schools will have turning point chapters after Kirk killing. Conservative youth group chapters will counter woke indoctrination, says Ryan Walters. And I saw this and immediately thought, remember that thing about the military taking over for TPUSA doing some recruiting? There you go. What better idea right there than to get into the high schools and turn these people into military guys? I don't trust anybody that's taking the reins of TPUSA right now. They ain't none of it. They're all lying to you anyways. I mean, Superman, go back to the thing. Superman, the theory? Hey, that's the guy that's his right-hand man. Raids, fines, and secrecy inside the hidden illegal world of tattooing in South Korea. Yes, I said that right. The hidden illegal world of tattooing. When Kim Chan-ho goes to work, he locks the door and checks the security cameras, make sure no police are hanging around. He doesn't list his full-time job when applying for bank loans, knowing they'd reject him immediately. I had no idea, but I didn't know tattoo was illegal in South Korea. Did not know that. U.S. Park Police removed Trump Epstein statue from National Mall. And I ignorantly put Trump Elon statue. Let me change that right there real quick. The Trump Epstein. Save changes. I guess I can't change that right now. I'll change that later. My bad. Trump Epstein statue from National Mall. It only lasted a day. The U.S. Park Police removed the statue of once and future King President DJT and Jeffrey Epstein from the National Mall at approximately 5:30 a.m. on Wednesday. The protest artwork had been placed on the east side of the mall near the U.S. Capitol building Tuesday, and there was a permit for it to remain until Sunday. The Reddit user Are You a Vegetable posted a video of a uniformed officer supervising a team of maintenance workers loading it onto a flatbed truck before sunrise. As the sun rose, the only thing left was an outline in the sand revealing where it had been. Yes, that's just some funny stuff. United Airlines grounds all flights for a second time in a month amid growing safety concerns. United Airlines grounded all flights out of U.S. and Canada for the second time in a month amid growing safety concerns. We already said that. How come the title is literally the first sentence of all these writings? Thank you, AI. American biggest airlines asked the FAA to issue a ground stop due to this unspecified technological issue. Remember yesterday we said, well, just get on with Cyber Polygon. Enough of it. Yeah, this is go right to the whole thing. United flights were also brought to a stop in August. Okay, we don't care about that. We care about now. American Airlines planes grounded after tech glitch just hours after United was hit. United Airlines was hit by a similar problem just hours earlier. This was today at 6:02 p.m. Passengers on board American Airlines flights were stuck on the tarmac after the airline was forced to ground planes due to a technology glitch. Numerous flights were heavily delayed, sparking travel chaos for passengers. American is aware of what's going on with American Air. They told us 2+ hours after a national tech glitch. They say all planes have been grounded for the moment, but we have been on the tarmac since then. Again, just get on with Cyber Polygon. That's all. Just do it and stop with the four, as they say, stop with the little play. Let's go and go all in. Man arrested over cyber attack that grounded flights in Heathrow and across Europe. Remember that was yesterday too. 30 million texts per minute. The New York Sim farm plot reveals a troubling trend. It can't be understated what this system is capable of doing. Those were the words of Special Agent Matt McCool, whose Secret Service team dismantled a network of sophisticated devices in New York ahead of the UN General Assembly this meeting. The clandestine network of SIM servers and cards were positioned to knock out cell service and target protective missions near the United Nations. More than 300 SIM servers and 100,000 SIM cards were seized to stop the imminent threat to protective operations. One network was said to be capable of sending 30 million texts per minute. Nationwide threat actors, meaning a foreign government-affiliated group which uses cybercrime to help sow chaos, Israel, man, I got that choke again, are believed to be behind the threat. The impact of such a plot could have been catastrophic, and it's just the latest in a steady series of high-profile plots targeting critical infrastructure. Anybody got a visual of who there was? Some state funding terrorist plan. Exactly. Who would have done such a thing? They remember those pagers? Most favored nation. Bodies in the bayou. What's behind the recent spike in deaths? Does Houston have a serial killer problem or just a social media one? 5 bodies in 5 days, all found in Houston bayous. The internet is doing what the internet does best, spiraling into serial killer theories. The recent wave of bodies found in Houston's bayous has stirred up unease and rampant speculation online, fueled by a mix of true crime obsession and real concern. Social media users are connecting the dots. 5 bodies in 5 days spread across multiple waterways, sparking fears of a serial killer. But Houston police and local criminology experts say the facts don't support the hype. Each death is different, blah, 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 blah. Anyway. All escalators have been grounded. If anybody doesn't know the joke, it was the escalator stop on Trump going up the escalator the other day, and it was kind of comical. CDC warns of surge in dangerous, highly antibiotic-resistant bacteria, because that's the only thing the CDC can do, and they're pretty much useless. Infections from dangerous bacteria that are resistant to some of the strongest antibiotics available have surged in the United States, the CDC said on Tuesday. Citing a CDC study published Tuesday, the agency said in the news release that infections from NDM CRE bacteria rose by more than 460% in the U.S. between 2019 and 2023. These infections, including pneumonia, bloodstream infections, UTIs, and wound infections, are extremely hard to treat and can be deadly. Really? I mean, pneumonia, that's a good one. You can smoke some mullein. You get a little pipe, put some dried mullein in there. That helps. UTI, there's a lot of herbs that help on UTI stuff. Clear that out. Wound infections. Oh man, there's so many of those too. I mean, yarrow helps out, like stop bleeding. Lamb's ear can use like a Band-Aid, and it will actually be like an antibiotic in a sense. Just put it on and just leave it there. There's some, man, don't believe the hype. Maybe the antibiotics aren't working, but the natural stuff could definitely work. Here's the Netanyahu response. We already saw this directly to Tucker Carlson said he defends America's worst enemies, which technically that's America's worst enemy. That guy you're looking at. Gunman opens fire on secretive Air Force base home to Area 51. Again, you can't. This story cannot not be on here. A gunman opened fire outside the Air Force base in Nevada, linked to Area 51, according to police. The unknown suspect fired rounds at the main gate of the site and was behaving erratically around 12:30 a.m. Wednesday in Las Vegas. How many people don't act erratically at 12:30 a.m. in Las Vegas? And the LSAFP spokesperson told the Daily Mail, if someone's acting normal at 12:30 a.m. in Vegas, I think they're the ones you have to keep an eye on, not the guys who are acting irrationally. Steve, you should make a video on just those natural remedies. Yeah, well, actually, we got Amy, we got a book coming out. Judson and I got asked to do one on, it's called Herbs That Heal. So we're doing something on, and he goes through his own thing, and then I do kind of like a Steve here's the idiot talking about how easy it is, or I know what you're thinking right now, and here's this. So that's coming out again. Judson's. I might do something with Judson. We got to do something on herbs now that it's legal to talk about that again. In a sense, it's we can do health things without feeling the way that we're going to get banned. But yeah, no, that's. If you look at Dr. Nicole Apathy, let me see if I can find it. Type that in real quick. I'll send you the link right now. Nicole, wrong button. Let's try that again. Dr. Nicole. There it is. Here it is right here. I'll put it in the chat. She cured herself of MS. That's why bringing this up. Check out her blog, and she's got a ton of good stuff. She mentions she even teaches a class on how to make stuff that she sells in her store. But we were, my wife hooked me up on it, got me hooked on it, and like I said, that's why I make my own now. And you just go into search on that site and type in anything you want, like heart disease, pneumonia, anything that we just saw on that last page. urinary tract. She's got a blog post on it, gives you the recommendations on what to use, how to use it, how to make it, things like that, and get you on the right thing. I mean, everything from brain to blood stopping to, like I said, everything in between. She was on some kind of like, one of those TV shows that you go out in the woods and survival type deal. She cut her hand with a knife trying to gut a fish and stopped the bleeding with yarrow. They all say like should have lost her hand, but used yarrow, wrapped it around, put it up, stops the bleeding like that. I grow it. It's great. We did my third kid had a cut, and we anything on nerve damage? Yes. Check it. Just type in nerve damage on the link. There's even tooth stuff. That's where I found the toothpaste that started using it. It's been fantastic. I mean, night and day difference. I actually saw local news bring it up on there as a recommendation to get. So yeah, anything you can think of, nerve damage, teeth, gut, brain health, hearing, you name it, type it in the search. I haven't found something yet on there. But again, hey, she cured herself of MS just for that. She's got a great book too. Look up her books. And I mean, that's how I found bilberry, was through her. And it talked about eye problems and eyes, being able, like the World War II guys, the pilots out in Europe were taking bilberry, which is like another blueberry, and it improved their night vision. So you don't eat it. You just use the elderberry you don't want to eat. Bilberry you could eat. It's just hard to grow here. The site is really cool, and I can't wait to tell her. Oh yeah. Get on her email list. She'll send you all kinds of things. Probably once every other day, if she'll put something on like sunscreen stuff. She gives you natural things on how to do sunscreen. Even little things like how to survive during when it's really hot. How places used to have the airflow and the windows were made. All that stuff like that. Really, really cool stuff. Really, yeah. Get on her email list. Can't speak enough about her. She's great. It's great stuff. But yeah, you get a bowl of mullein and put a towel over, and you have a steam thing, and there's all kinds of things. I've learned a lot from her site. National Guard to be deployed to Española, second New Mexico city, to see military presence. Scope, number of troops still being determined. Guard leader said. New Mexico's National Guard Adjutant General announced Monday that guardsmen will soon be deployed to Española, to a town of roughly 10,000 people in northern New Mexico, whose leaders recently asked for a state to help dealing with crime, drug, and housing crisis. Again, if it's National Guard, they're using it because the governor said it's okay. That's how they're getting around the posse kind of thing. If you want to look into the link, here's a link on from the local news that they're KRQE, New Mexico National Guard, talking with Española officials about potential partnership. Now, if it's the Mexico National Guard, they can do whatever they want in New Mexico. New Mexico National Guard, yeah, fine. No problem at all. Here's a Foraging revival, how wild food enthusiasts are reconnecting with nature. Hey, they're talking about us there. Love. Mark, no, I'm sorry, man. You're screwed on that one. They don't have. There's no love potions. No, but I think it was the oysters as an aphrodisiac or something like that. But yeah, you got to actually. Well, I mean, they have found a link between women taking oral contraceptions, and how would you say, like, dating down. You see, like, you ever wonder, like, how did that guy get with her, end up with her? It's because the contraception has made their brains so wacky they end up dating some lower on their level, in a sense. So I mean, testosterone, obviously, like that. Well, yeah, testosterone would be something. Pine pollen, natural pine pollen. That's what's kind of funny about the liver things that a lot of guys are pushing. Like, I think Candace is even doing liver things. A couple of Catholic guys are doing liver ones. You know what you do? Dandelion. I'm waiting to make another one right here. I got the stuff right here, dandelion, and I got the liquor right there for it. I just haven't got around to it. No, it's a $30. Let's see, it cost me for all things cost me about $30 to make a half-gallon jar of tincture. And that will last me, I don't know, a couple of years. Let's see. New Hampshire, standing barefoot in a grassy patch of dandelions. Iris Phoebe Weaver excitedly begins listing the many ways the modest plant can be used medicinally and in cooking. I just picked a bunch of dandelion flowers yesterday and threw them in vodka and some orange peel and some sugar. And that's my dandelion aperitif. Wow. That would make a lovely mixed drink at some point. Yeah. Longtime herbalist and foraging instructor in Massachusetts, Weaver takes people on nature walks to transform their relationships with their surroundings. By the way, dandelion is not native to here. It was brought over from Europe, and that's how it's over here now. Oil of oregano, yeah. Basil. Yeah. Try to find the little foraging class around your area. There's plenty of there. We got to check out Judge Judson on Twitter. If you're not following Judson Carroll on Twitter, he'll give you some great advice on there too. Let's go to this day in history. 1957, federal troops sent to Little Rock, Arkansas to maintain order and enforce the right to black students to attend local public high school. 2015, according to Saudi officials, 769 people died in a stampede during a Hajj to Mecca. However, other estimates claim more than 2,400 were killed. 1995, the BBC miniseries Pride and Prejudice, starring Carl, became the most anticipated adaptations of the novel. 1993, Norodom Sihanouk, I don't know, was crowned king of Cambodia for the second time. Great. 1991, American alternative rock group Nirvana released Nevermind. If you remember that one, that was a great one. 1960, I had my whole junior college basketball team listen to that one time. They literally thought that we won because we were listening to Nevermind. 1968, primetime American TV show 60 Minutes debuted. 1960, the first nuclear-powered aircraft carrier, the Enterprise, was launched by the U.S. 1938, Dan Budge won the U.S. Open. 1934, George Herman Babe Ruth played his last baseball game for the New York Yankees at Yankee Stadium. Good Catholic dude, from what I understand. 1906, Devil's Tower in northeastern Wyoming was named the first national monument in the United States. 1896, American short writer and novelist F. Scott Fitzgerald, famous for depictions of the Jazz Age, was born. 1877, Saigo Takamori, a hero of the Restoration, was killed after leading a rebellion against the Meiji government. 1869, plummeting gold prices led to the panic known as Black Friday, when U.S. President U.S. Grant, after learning of an attempt by Jay Gould and James Fisk to drive up the gold market, ordered $4 million of government gold to be sold on the market. In 1755, John Marshall, the fourth Chief Justice of the U.S. and principal, founded U.S. system of constitutional law and screwed up a lot of things that we have today, including the doctrine of judicial review, was born. Anyways, who killed Harambe? Yeah. Let's see. Here's the like, subscribe. It's late. You know what to do. Comment, like, subscribe, all that jazz. Thank you for coming on. Thank you for checking out. Glad to have you guys in the chat. See you tomorrow. What is tomorrow? I can remember. It's the early show. Yeah, because we got me and Rick will be doing our thing tomorrow. Anyway, have a great night. Talk to you guys later. Thanks for coming on.